Cool, let's get started. So you are not broken, which is pretty cool. You are not broken, which is what I just mentioned. Now, when we're focusing on being broken or trying to fix ourselves, we're completely in the wrong structure. What's going on here? Here we go. Completely in the wrong structure. We're trying to fix ourselves. We're just going to create more of being broken and getting more energy around that. Now, this is a new modality. It's been around for about 3 years now. It's Chris Duncan, a Kiwi, lives in the Gold Coast, came up with it. And I got in certified and bits and pieces around learning all about it so I can actually bring it to help others. Also, I've done lots of other modalities and just a whole lot of different stuff online to really learn and bring the best that I can to you guys so you can have a beautiful shift in your life and actually realize that life is just about structure. It's not personal. It's just about being the right structure, and we'll come to that shortly. So how to remove unwanted feelings and emotions that don't serve you. My goal is to show you by removing the resistance with the superconscious recode and working from the right structure, you can become a powerful superconscious creator and live a life that you love. Today's session is for you. If you want to become a 6 or 7 figure influencer, impact millions, or do whatever you love, as long as we do it just because we love it, that's where our inner power is. Or also, obviously, if you want better health, more energy, stronger relationships with friends, family, more wealth, no debt, whatever it may be, financially, in abundance, less discomfort, frustration, more confidence, and the freedom to be, do, and have anything that you choose, which is very cool. What's going on here? I appreciate you, and I'm so grateful that you're here. Thank you so much for coming along today. I really appreciate it, because it's certainly great when people turn up so I can do my preview event. This is the first of its kind of this preview event that I've done after spending a lot of time on creating myself to actually be on the video in the first place, learning it all and actually bringing it to you. It's not something that happened overnight, and it's taken a fair bit of work to get here. So I'm really stoked and really appreciate and grateful that you're here. And you're going to learn heaps, and I hope you get lots of value out of this today. I'm sure you certainly will. I will not waste your time. I will give you actionable steps. I will offer the next step if you choose that you want to take it and work with me in the future. I will stay around for questions at the end. I'll stay for as long as you will, and like I mentioned, I'm so grateful that you're here. How to get the most out of this training? Just turn the phone off, be present. It'll go for up to 90 minutes. Take loads of notes, take action, ask questions at the end, and just play full out. The whole process around creating with your superconscious, which is a field of information, is actually just choosing to step into what we want to create and taking the action. And this process that you're going to learn today, the RECODE, is about removing the resistance. And all the work that I do in the masterclass and the one-on-one coaching, we specialize in removing resistance. We don't focus on why you're broken. We focus on what you want to create and remove the resistance that's in the way. So it's the opposite to any other modality out there that you've probably come across. There is some beautiful modalities out there, and I love all of them, heart-filled people, because it was certainly me going down that road. But if any modality work out there, if it's not focusing on what you want to create, your desired reality, then you're simply giving more energy to the problem. And then you just get more of that problem. Okay. What we will cover today, education and how the consciousness works. So we have 3 forms of consciousness. We have our self-conscious, which is conscious. That's all about thought. That's the smallest part of our brain. Then we have our unconscious, which is all about feeling and survival. It likes to keep everything the same and keep you alive. So it's a very high, strong survival mechanism. And then we have the superconscious, which is a field of information around you. And it's all about the information. It's your family, it's your traits, it's the informations, it's instructions. It's everything of who you are. Now, a lot of memories can be passed down from our parents, or we can simply take on memories as a child. All of that's created by your superconscious. So it's a field of information. It doesn't know the difference between right or wrong. It's just like the hard drive in the computer. It will just give you the information that you need. Structure and why success is not personal. So we have to make sure we're in the right structure, which is our desired reality, what we want to create, not our current reality, which is based around being broke or trying to fix ourselves. Also, learn how the superconscious recode works. We'll do that at the end. We can remove resistance. You can choose what you want to work on today. It's entirely up to you, and I'll guide you through it. And we can just remove some of the resistance and beliefs that don't serve you. Now, it's really important playing out in this that we do the really cool education. And I just put in the chat if you both have watched the education video that I sent through, because the more education that we do, the bigger the recode will be, because we have to teach and educate our unconscious over a period of time that this work, you will not die because it's something new. And once the unconscious feels comfortable with it, through lots of conscious education and talking and showing and diagrams, then everything starts to flow. So it does take a little bit of time to get through that, anywhere between 4 to 6 weeks. But you certainly today, you will notice a difference after we do the recode, that you'll have less resistance to creating what it is that you love. And because of this program, I've been lucky enough to create my own coaching company, build a successful global business. I have clients all around the world, feature in podcasts and host live events, virtual events, which I'm doing this one today. This is the third preview I've done, but the first of its kind with all the new content, everything in here. Become one of 500 certified coaches teaching this method around the world. So there's not many of us because it's quite a hard process to get certified, and there will be more. It's growing. It's just new modality. It's just at the beginning stages. I believe in the years to come, this will be the next Tony Robbins. It'll be the next creation of personal development in that field, because it's just so powerful. Here we can remove resistance in 10 to 15 minutes, not take weeks, months, years to remove what's in the way, which is really powerful. Live a life of freedom and do what matters the most, which is my true purpose. One of my true purposes is to really do the best that I can to get this work into New Zealand, the mental health of New Zealand, because we're really struggling in this country with mental health, and a lot of the mental health is us holding on to old memories. Anxiety is a lack of creation, a lack of confidence, for example. So if we can create creation and confidence, remove the resistance to take action, then we can help a lot of people actually get on with it, start creating businesses, become entrepreneurs, musicians, artists, etc. So a dream come true. So here's me and my wife, Kirst, going a bit of a holiday. Traveling around. That's in Phuket in Thailand. There's up the middle, there's me doing my live events and podcasts, and the kids, Arabella and Noah. So it's been a dream come true to be able to do this. My whole life I've always wanted to be a coach, but I had a massive sabotaging belief that I don't belong and I'm not good enough. So it was a real struggle to create all this, and it wasn't until I removed that sabotaging belief that I was able to do it. Like I said, it wasn't all that way. It was March last year. It was 2021. The husband and father who was losing interest in the personal development business that we owned. I wanted to help people, but struggled getting my own feelings of not being good enough, and the big one, not belonging. The not belonging, the 6 main sabotaging beliefs. I had the not belonging really, really strong. What it would mean for me is I'd go out in public or into the space outside the house and get anxiety and nervous around being around people because I felt like I didn't belong. So I've since removed that, and I'm able to sit here in front of my camera and actually do these videos, do these content, because I belong. I don't mind being judged, and everyone's allowed to judge me, and that's the big hold up with not belonging, is being judged by others. You have a fear of it. So I've removed that now, so feel free to judge me. I love being judged. I felt like I wanted more out of life, but was stuck in my own skin. I was trying to make it work. I created my own healing and transformation program. This is before I removed the sabotaging beliefs. I studied and learned many different modalities. I was trying to fix myself. I was just going around and around in my current reality, looking for more, looking for that way that I could actually somehow fall out the end result of having less resistance. I enrolled in many different coaching programs, seminars, and attended many personal development events, trying to find out what was in my way. Then everything changed. I came across an advert on Facebook with a man, Christopher Duncan, who's a beautiful Kiwi soul. He lives, as I mentioned, Gold Coast, originally from Wellington. And Chris had his own journey as well, very similar to a lot of us. And we're always trying around going different modalities, courses, teachings, programs, whatever, to try and fix ourselves or try and figure out what's in the way. I attended his online event, just like this one here. And from that moment, I knew I'd found the secret, the magic, the missing piece in the manifestation and transformation, the superconscious recode. And the reason why it's so magical and this missing piece is we can remove the resistance, so that taking the action to what we want to create becomes easy. We just simply go and do it, and there's no anxiety, there's no sweats, there's no a little monkey or little man on your shoulder saying you're not good enough, you're not capable. We just remove all that. And that's the power of this work. Once we remove all the feelings and emotions off memories that don't serve us, we can actually have anything we choose. All we have to do is step into it, take the action, and create it. So what happened next? I spent over 20,000, completed 6 months study to become one out of the 500 certified coaches teaching this one-of-a-kind process. That's me here in Motueka. big cheesy grin. I started my coaching business. Transform Your Life Within was created. I launched my website, which was a massive thing for me to actually launch my own name and video content, everything out there, because previously, if even the thought of doing this would make me anxious and give me the sweat. So it was really powerful. And before I was doing this, I was actually a real estate agent doing videos for my properties and bits and pieces I was selling. And we'd have like take 10 just to get a simple sentence out. So it was really, really powerful to better come to you now and bring this work to you and actually show you the proof that it works and removing the sabotaging beliefs. Hosted my first live event here in Mott a few months ago. That was very cool. That's Tama had some massive shifts. That was very, very cool. Well. Created my program. So I have a one-on-one like coaching program. I have a transformation masterclass, or we can have just one-on-one coaching sessions to remove. So I created all these programs, which really blew my mind that I could actually finally get this work out there, but actually create it, take the action and create it, and not have having the sabotaging beliefs is in the way. So here's been some of my results. Charlie was from Auckland. Greg has guided me to a better place in life. It was like being born into a new life. There is much more positivity and happiness in my life. Greg helped me let go of my self-limiting beliefs and most constant anxiety. I'm grateful to have Greg in my life. Now, Charlie actually suffered from heart palpitations. He had to have X amount of heart palpitations every hour, every day. And we're able to clear it from pain, from a memory from him as a child. And he won't mind me mentioning this, because once we actually cleared it, it was fantastic. It was almost instant. His heart palpitations stopped. He'd had these heart palpitations his whole life, so it was really, really powerful to him to get his life back and not have to live a life with it. And obviously, we worked through his anxiety issues as well. Renee just had a beautiful session with Greg. Renee's from Australia. Unblocked a throat chakra, took me back in time when I was younger, which was stopping me from going public. She went live after our session and sent me through a video, which is very, very powerful. And I just copied the text out of that video onto here. And now she just loves doing what she does. She was on live doing videos. She's got her own clients and everything now, and really moving forward. So I'm so proud of her, which is really cool. There's been many other testimonials from my clients. You're welcome to go to my website and have a look, or the Facebook page. You'll see many of what people have achieved by going through this work. Here's a couple from Chris's work. Dean Adams, he lives in Australia. He was blind for 25 years in a wheelchair, and he used this work to get his eyesight back. So the whole process with that is Chris never once focused on him being blind or trying to fix it. What we did is Dean's true end result, his desired reality, what he focused on was just wanting to play with his grandchildren. I just want to be able to play with my grandchildren. To do that, have to see and get out of his wheelchair. Within 3 months, he started getting his eyesight back. He went through the whole certification. He's now certified as a coach, and he's now guiding and helping and teaching others. So it's very powerful. Patrick Morales in the States. He had a car accident, was disabled, and as you can see there, I joined Magnet at my masterclass, which is what masterclass we do here, the work we do here, about a month ago, and this week he ran for the first time in almost 9 years. So the beautiful thing about this work is, and I'll come to it shortly, we focus on a desired reality of what we want to create. Then we look where we are now. By doing that with our eyes closed, the resistance comes up in the field, and we're able to move it by using your superconscious. You give me permission to access your superconscious. We simply get the superconscious to go into the unconscious and remove what's in the way. And that's what's so special about this, different from all the other modalities, is we're not doing work on your unconscious or your conscious. We're getting the superconscious to go in and take out what it originally put there. And it's more than happy to do it because it knows it's going to increase satisfaction. It's going to give you more time. It's going to give you a better quality of life. It just needs instructions. Just like the hard drive in the computer, it needs instructions to be activated. That's your superconscious, so it's pretty powerful. So I'll just stop sharing that for you, and we can go on to the next step. Where are we here? Cool. So, how are we enjoying it so far? Are we getting some good content out of it? Feel free to let me know in the chat if you wish to. Cool. So, how this work? Why is this work different from everything else? So, we have our current reality, and then we have our desired reality. Now, if our current reality is who we are today, but we want more, like we want more love, more relationships, more money, whatever it may be, then that's our desired reality. That's what we choose. And when we have our desired reality, which might be more, like I mentioned, money, love, relationships, whatever it may be, if we don't have that now and it's more, then this is less. So if we wanted more money, then we might have over here, we might have scarcity. If we wanted more health, then over here we might be sick. And this is where we get, this is the important thing we must realize in life. It's success is just structural, it's not personal. When we're going for what we want to create in a desired reality, say for example, we can just use, we want to earn, you know, say $10,000 a month. We just to use that as an example. When we're going for it, we have resistance that pops up in our field. Now this resistance has been put here to stop us going for our desired reality by our current identity. Now our current identity is who we are, it's our values, it's our thoughts, it's everything about us in our current identity. When we're going for this new thing, the identity over here doesn't know, because it hasn't been created yet, doesn't know if it'll survive. This one over here doesn't know if it's going to survive, so it wants to pull you back. The identity want to pull you back, it'll pull you back because it wants you to resolve what the resistance is going on. It wants you to fix. Now, the unfortunate thing about the structure of how this is unfolded is this is part of society. It's our schooling system, our government system. It's everybody. Everyone's trying to focus on us, trying to fix everything. When it's simply not true, we don't need to. All we need to do is focus on what we want to create, step into it, and remove this resistance so we can have it. Now, there's been a lot of successful people that, you know, multimillionaires know this. They know that success is just structure. There's been a lot of successful people that have stepped into the desired reality and taken their resistance with them. Like, for example, Michael Jackson, we know was an awesome performer, massive talent, but he had a lot of stuff going on. Lady Gaga still cries before she goes on stage. It's not being good enough, but pushes through it. Donald Trump, you know, we know he has a lot of issues going on, hugely successful. So we know that you can get into this new identity and create it. But for about 95% of us, there's too much resistance. It's too much in the way. So what we're basically doing here is when we're going for a desired reality and the resistance pops up, it might be the frustration, the fear of success, fear of failure, the sick sabotage belief, not good enough, not capable, not worthy, and I'll come to them shortly, whatever it may be for you. For you, it's always different. Everyone's resistance is different, but the beautiful thing is we can clear it. When we have this resistance, we come down here to resolve, or we come down here to fix ourselves. So we might come down, we might do another program. We might get some therapy. We might read a book. We might have some wins. We might say, yeah, I feel better now. So we head on up here, and then we start going for it again. And then some other resistance pops up. We come back down here to our current identity. Remember, this identity is putting this resistance up because it thinks it's helping you. It's a survival mechanism, for one. It's saying, don't go here because I don't know what this is. You might die. So it's pulling us back all the time. Who here can relate to that? Who here can relate to being in the structure, just going round and round, having some success, pulled back down? It's so powerful. So the thing about this, beautiful thing about this is what we simply do is we don't worry about our current identity. We step into our desired reality, remove the resistance through this work, and then just take the action. It's all about taking the action to create it. And that way we create this new identity. The identity of success of $10,000 a month, health, love, relationships, whatever it is for you. So when we have our current identity, it normally means we're stuck. When we're having a desired reality, we're flowing, which is just a beautiful thing, because when we're flowing, we get the inner energy. We're on our true purpose. We're loving life. Everything's just grand. And we see this in people that are flowing, that are having it all, because they are flowing. They choose it and they create it. If we're in the middle here, we're isolating. Now, if we're isolating, which just simply means like a rocking chair, we're just swinging forward and back. So isolating, we're having a little bit of what we want, and then we're stuck again. Oh yeah, I've had some success, I made some phone calls, I got a website price come in. Oh maybe what if I've had the fear of failure? What if I get it wrong and lose my money? Oh, and I'll just put it on hold for now because the resistance kicks in again. Or we might be simply stuck. We just don't know what we want to create. We don't know what our true purpose is. We don't know how to connect to our intuition yet. We don't know how to find out what we love and then start building it. Whatever it may be for you, but when we're stuck, we start creating, we might get isolated and get pulled back. And you'll better recognize yourself in this chart, in this structure. So we have the structure of being stuck, isolating, or flowing. We might be starting to isolate, having success. So we've got our website up and going, we're to get our few clients. And then we might get pulled back again. We might get into flowing, having success, building it, because we've got very little resistance left, and we might sometimes isolate. And then eventually where you want to get is to be permanently in flowing. Now, this has been my journey for the last 18 months. This is exactly what I've gone through. Prior to that, I was stuck, isolating, flowing, coming stuck. I was going all the way over here, creating businesses, creating success, and then coming all the way back here. I was doing the whole swing. Now, I'm simply in flowing the whole time, which is just a beautiful place. It does take about 6 to 12 months work to remove all this resistance, because as we're creating bigger and better things, there's new resistance. You're earning $10,000 a month. That's easy. It's up and running. Then, of course, you want to earn $50,000 a month. Hey, guess what? There's new resistance. We've got to clear that resistance because it's a bigger target, it's a bigger goal. Thanks, Hayley. That's awesome. Thanks, Lisa. Excellent. Yeah, it does resonate, because it's the thing about this work is it's true. You know, it makes sense. You can put yourself in any part of that structure. And that's why success or anything that you want to create in this world is not personal. If you want to make it personal, then you're in your current identity and you're trying to fix yourself. You want to put yourself in the structure, do the recodes, do the processes, be in the masterclass or do one-on-one, remove this resistance, then you can have it all. And it's very, very simple. It's actually quite easy to take the action in here when you don't have the little birdie on your shoulder going, you're not capable, you don't belong, you're not good enough, etc. The fear, the frustration, the anxiety. So yeah, cool. So that's pretty much the structure side of it. What I'll do is we'll just share my screen now and I'll take you through the journey to superconscious living. And this is pretty powerful stuff. This is all about, where's my share screen? This is all about who we are, which is really powerful, why we're here and who we came from. So, move off this out of the way. So the journey to superconscious living, very, very powerful. So when we're actually in mum's tummy and we've just been created, the sperm and the egg comes together, we're simply just a tiny little dot. We're such a small little dot inside mum's tummy, you can't see it, and we haven't been created at all yet. But in the first 4 weeks of our creation, and science and video and everything proves this, our first 4 weeks of creation, that dot turns into a little fetus. It turns into organs, the heart starts growing, the brain, and comes down into our chest. So we actually start becoming this creature with like a 3D shape. Now, on the 4th week is when the spirit comes in. The spirit comes in, and we know this because the heart starts beating. Once the heart starts beating, we then have an unconscious. We have an unconscious which is all about survival and keeping us alive, and that goes all the way through to the end of our life. So we start off with our superconscious, which creates those first 4 weeks. Family memories, DNA, genes, everything passed down, our skin color, hair color, height, grandparents, skills, whatever it may be, all about survival, keeping us alive through our superconscious, all brought into us. Then our unconscious comes in. Now, when we're inside mum's tummy in the first 5 to 7 years of our life, we have no consciousness, we have no thought. Everything's just feeling and survival. So when we're actually born, we don't have a conscious yet. We can't think for ourselves as a baby or a small child. We don't form that until the age of 4, 5 to 7. That's why you can say to a 3-year-old, you're silly, and they'll laugh, or a 4 or 5-year-old, they'll laugh, but say it to an 8-year-old and say, no, you're silly, because they can actually think about their consciousness has started to form. So as spirit comes in on the 4th week, we have an unconscious, we go right through that period, then we're then born. Now, before we're born, we're inside mum's tummy and we're growing, we believe we have it all. We have the food, we have the heat, we can hear mum's voice, everything's just beautiful. We have everything that we need. And we think this is life, this is great. And then the day comes where we get born. We go through all that pain of getting squished out. We come out, we're born. We take our first breath. Excuse me, just have some water. We take our first breath as a human being. The umbilical cord gets cut, we're on our own. We become an individual, but we don't know it yet. So we spend the next 2 years realizing that we're not attached to mum. that we don't have it all. We have to cry for something. We have to laugh for something. We want to cry if we want to sleep. If we're hungry, change our nappy. We have to do an action to get something. So we put up limitations around us. It might even be like as a 2 or a 3-year-old gets put in the daycare, or even younger at 6 months old, that baby could put up a belief that I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough, otherwise mummy wouldn't leave me here. You know, I was so close to mum and now she just leaves me here. And it's only because the children, they don't know that mum and daddy have to go to work to pay for everything, to bring the money in, to put the food on the table. They don't understand that, and they don't want to understand that. They just want to know, where's my mummy? So if a child, and it's not all children that do this, that's just an example because everyone has a different journey. The child that does put up that belief, not worthy or not good enough, as a 2 or a 3-year-old, will hold on to that memory its whole life. And that's when it comes as a struggle and resistance when he gets older. Oh, I'm not good enough to do that program. I'm not good enough to be self-employed. I'm not good enough to ride that horse. You know, so we hold on to these and it affects us all the way through. But beautiful thing is, we can remove it. So number 2, becoming an individual with a limited perspective. So we are told as a kid, don't touch this, don't do that, don't do this. Going through the schooling system, if you want to go to the toilet, you've got to ask. All these individual limitations that we get put on us, instead of being able to our natural, pure, creative spirit, which is just go out and do it. Now, a couple of 100 years ago, before all these schooling system and thing was brought in, we would be in the villages as entrepreneurs. Our parents would be entrepreneurs, the dressmaker, the shoemaker, the bread maker. We would all be just creation. We would be simply out there creating whatever we're good at, whatever our true purpose was, and we would barter, you know, and we would teach. All that has been lost now to a system where it's like, if you want to have this, you've got to have that. You want to have a good job, you've got to go to university. If you want to be something out of anything, you've got to play this best sports team, whatever it may be. It's all this limitation put on us. And it shrinks us in a spirit, it shrinks our energy down, in a lot of cases, puts up memories that don't serve us, of not being allowed to have it. The fear of not being able to do it in case someone ridicules us. You know, we could be the 6-year-old daughter that's in the education video, a 6-year-old child that, you know, all the kids in the classroom had to draw pictures and everything from their weekend of their parents and get up and talk about it in front of the class, and that 6-year-old falls over in front of the class, and the whole class laughs at it. They're not laughing at her, like personally, just laughing because she fell over. It was funny to a bunch of 6-year-olds. But she'll put up a belief for the rest of her life that there's no way she's going to talk in front of people. She'll hate public speaking. I'm not getting up talking in front of those. No, I don't do public speaking. And that's just because here it is. I want to do public speaking. No, you fell over when you were 6. There's too much pain there. So this identity is trying to pull you back so you can't experience, but pull you back so you can't experience the pain. So I might put up a little bit, no, don't do that. No, don't put your hand up for that. Oh, no, you can't do that. And then you say you are, then it might put up anxiety. It'll put up more and more resistance. It'll grow it, trying to pull you back here. And that's the process to go through. And this work would simply step into closed eye, being on the stage, 10,000 people, cameras, lights, when you're on doing it. And then in the field pops up the resistance, and then I'm able to remove it, which I'll explain some more of that shortly. So there, number 4, we create your life to solve the limitations. We create this isolation, this swinging fear. That's what's talking about there. Oh, I want to really do it. Oh no, I'm not good enough. I really can do that. Oh, I'm not capable. I'm really going to do that new program. I never started it because, you know, I'm just not good enough, whatever it may be. So that's where we isolate. We don't want to be in that isolating structure. We want to be in a structure of flowing. Decide to become a creator and live the 4 core choices. Now we have the 4 core choices here. Living a life I love. I'll come to them shortly. And the 4 core choices are beautiful because they get us focused on our creative self. And when we focus on those 4 choices and break them down, we then put them into a desired reality. Step into it. Living a life I love. What does it mean for you? Where are you? What are you doing? Kids, family, travel, beach, native, tramping, walking, whatever it may be. And then the resistance pops up and yet again we can remove it. So it's very powerful. And that's what the shift is called on that journey, superconscious living. The shift is that line, the line between being stuck, isolating, or flowing and creating what it is that you choose. Just being it before you see it, just stepping into it. So the recode, all the number 6 there, we recode all the instructions, etc. Use a superconscious insight to make true choices. So we work on your own true choices as well after that, which is I choose the end result of being the best parent I can be. I choose the end result of financial abundance, whatever it may be for you. And these, we've got meditations and bits and pieces that you're able to bring this true purpose out, which is really powerful. Recode all the resistance, which we'll do shortly. Recode all the resistance out, and then just become this pure creative spirit again. Become how you were born, that you can have anything you choose. You can do it all. You just have to step into it, take the action, remove the resistance, take more action, step into it. And it's actually that simple. The difficult bit is a lot of us have too much of this. We clear over the first 4 to 6 weeks, and between 6 and 12 months, depending on what's in the way, because everybody's journey is different. So here are the 6 main identities that don't serve us. Not good enough, always feel they must prove themselves to others. Not worthy, always looking for recognition from others. And as mentioned earlier on, you'll probably have a little bit of all of these or some of these in you, or you might have 1 or 2 of them really strong. Everybody's different depending on their memories, their upbringing, etc., what they went through, and also passed down memories from the family. Not significant, always looking for professional status to feel important. Don't belong, that was my big one. Believing they can't fit in, doesn't judge others or like being judged. Creates groups, communities, and businesses. I've had so many businesses and communities in my life that it blows me away. Now I only have one. And this is the one, this is my true purpose. I finally found it, and this is what I love doing. Just because I love it. Not perfect, always trying to fix their life. So everything needs to be perfect so they can feel perfect. Not capable, always looking to improve themselves through learning and studying. Normally childish, low achievers. So not capable, it might be you have, and it's not good enough as well, but you might have a lot of courses that something you've brought but never finished. Oh, I did 2 hours and then put it aside, because we buy these programs and these therapy and bits and pieces. We buy them to do them, to make thinking it's going to make us feel capable, but when we start doing, the resistance is too much to finish it, so we become not capable. Very, very powerful. Then we have the 4 orientational choices. This is the work that we step into first. Choosing a life I love for no other reason, just because you love it. Choosing health and vitality, just stepping into being healthy. Choose to live my true nature and purpose. We work through, if you don't know what your true nature is yet, we work through why you're here. Everybody on this planet has a true nature and purpose. They have a purpose of why they're here. We've just got to tap into it and allow it to come through, and then start taking action to create it. Because when you do, your whole life changes. You get the inner energy, the inner fire, and it's just a really, really good feeling. It's a beautiful desire flowing, because you're actually creating what you're designed to, so it's very natural. Excuse me. And then choose a predominant creative force. That's just taking the action for no other reason than you love it. Just taking the action to create whatever it is that you love. So we work on these 4, and then we also work on choosing your own true choices. Like, I choose the end result of being the best partner I can be. Financial abundance, where it may be for you. So the 5 steps to consciously create your desire, which is the RECODE, which we'll come to shortly, is to choose. First thing we'll do is we'll choose a true goal. So we'll step into that true end result, whatever it may be for you, and I'll walk you through it, talk you through it. Then we create structural tension. The structural tension is the tension between here. It's like a rubber band. If we have a desired reality over there, and it's coming away from a current reality, there's more and more tension. And how we do that, it just happens naturally as we go from, what do you want to create? What's it like now? And you'll feel there's that tension and there's resistance in between. For today's RECODE, I'd really, really recommend that you pick the hardest thing you can. It's the hardest thing to create. Because the biggest thing the hardest thing to create, the biggest desired reality end result, means the biggest resistance, more resistance, and you have more of a release today around it. So we get into the emotion, the end result, we look at what it is now, we get the tension, and then we simply unplug and RECODE. And then after we do the process, it's very, very important that you take aligned action to whatever this is that you've chosen as a desired reality. Cool. So I'll just share my screen again. So as I talked about, here's Dean and Patrick that had their life changes by doing the work. The changes are instant. So when we do the recode, you'll find after 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, you'll actually find you'll get a lot of twitches and flicks in your body. You may not. It's different for everybody. You might get a feeling of a point of energy somewhere in your legs, your arms, your back, your neck. It's always different from everybody. Just go with it. Just what is there's no right or wrong in this work. That's all that is simply doing is removing the feelings and emotions off the memory. So when we have the neuron, it's basically like this inside your brain, your heart or your gut. So we've got the 3 storing the neurons. When we have the memory and we have the pain attached to it, when we do the recodes, we're simply disconnecting the neuron, which is totally safe. We still keep the memory, but then we turn the feelings and emotions into wisdom. So we're just disconnecting that neuron. So when you think about that memory again afterwards, it'll be a pleasure, it'll be wisdom, it'll be exciting, it'll actually guide you to create more of a life. And the superconscious loves this because it's increasing satisfaction within you. You're having less pain, which is really powerful. So, but total transformation takes time over a period of 6 to 12 months. Certainly, that's what I found with my clients. It was certainly the same for me. You will remove all of the unwanted beliefs, be in flow, and creating anything and everything that you choose. The big problem is in life, we all give our power away. We give our power away to our current identity, or to what's in the way. And this work, we don't. We simply step into what we want to create and focus on it. And as mentioned about being in the right structure, focus on trying to fix yourself when you're not broken and not living your true purpose. The solution is you need a coach or a platform that guides you to removing the problem, and that's the way to have more of a life that you love. And that's what we're here for today, is to show you how that works. So the first step is to create true choices in this work. Go from focusing on what you don't want to what you do want, your current reality to your desired reality. And the outcomes are creating a life that you love, health and vitality, finding your true purpose, creating abundance, whatever that means for you, and activating your inner energy, which is pretty powerful. And you may be thinking, I don't have enough time, I'm not good enough, or not capable, or don't have the money. This is not the right time, and that's fine. All we have to do is just choose it. We just choose our desired reality, remove the resistance, which is removing all of these beliefs that you may have. These beliefs could be frustration or resistance that we currently have, because this was me. I had all these resistance to doing everything, and once I removed them, I was simply able just to take the action and create a life that I love. So who would like to do a recode? Are we getting heaps out of it still? Lisa and Haley. Me, cool, Curse, good stuff. Excellent. So, desired reality. Thanks, Lisa. Let's choose something we want to create. Choose something that's really powerful to you, but you haven't been able to create it because there's just too much resistance. It can be one of the true, actually I'll put this board up, might be easier. It might be able to help you a little bit. It can be one of these 4 choices if you want. If you just want to work on one of these 4 today, that's fine. Choosing a life I love, health and vitality, true nature and purpose, or predominant creative force. You can pick one of these. And when we start this work, we normally clear all these 4 to start with. So we work on these 4, and then we start working on our own true choices. So you can pick one of these. It might be that you have your own choice. Just what I want you to do is just to pick that desired reality, and write that down, just, like a piece of paper, desired reality, current reality. Just write down under DR what it is. If it's one of these 4, just write the number. Just write the number down and just say it in your mind, say it out loud. I choose a life I love if it's number 1, or I choose health and vitality. Really just let your ears hear it, say it through your lungs, see it through your eyes, really step into choosing it. Because it's really, really important that we get the power around what that desired reality is. Now, when we do these processes, the reason why we do closed eye is because 1, our conscious, which is our thought, is not thinking. It's not looking at the 20 million points of information coming in, which can be a distraction. Secondly, is when our closed eye, our unconscious believes it to be true. And that's really powerful, because when our unconscious believes it to be true, that's when it puts everything up in our field. So what I want you to do now is just to close your eyes and step into it. I'll do it with you. So just close your eyes and step into it. And I want you to notice, say for example, for me, I'm going to choose a life I love. So I'm just stepping into where I am, who I'm with. If I was to have that, whatever it is that you've chosen, step into what it means for you. Where are you? Who are you with? What are you doing? What can you see? What can you smell? What can you hear? Really step into that beautiful desired reality, that end result, that one thing you want to create that you haven't created yet. Really step into it and just look around you and notice what you notice. Notice who's with you. Really step into it. And you'll notice how beautiful it is just being in that desired reality, how good it feels. There may be some resistance going, oh yeah, but this, that, and that's fine. That's just the resistance that's in the way. That's what we're going to work on. Take a couple of breaths, breathing in your nose and out your mouth. And now I want you to all that beautiful feeling of that desired reality, times it by 5, times it by 10, times it by 50. That beautiful desired reality, that creation I want to create. That's it. Good. Cool. And now open your eyes. How was that? Did you get to experience that, Lisa and Haley? That beautiful desired reality? Cool. Excellent. Good stuff. So now what I want you to do is now I want you to think about your current reality. What's it like now? Well, I don't have it yet, so it's different. You'll notice now the energy around the current reality is so different. And that's awesome, hey, that's excellent. So when we're looking at current reality, you can see that difference. Now, desired reality is flowing. Now we're in a current reality and it's more so stuck or maybe a bit of isolating. So now I want you to look at your current reality, and I want you to put in the chat for me or write down, what beliefs do you think are in the way? What's your resistance? What fears have you got? Is it not good enough? One of the 6 sabotaging beliefs. Just write it down, the fears and beliefs in between your CR and DR. So just, you know, in between there, just write the fears and beliefs. It could be, what will people say if I get it wrong? What if I get it right? What if I become successful? When we start building anything, sometimes we have a fear of success because we've never had the success before. So there's a fear because we're not used to having that success. It could be being judged by others. What will my family say? What will my friends say? And you'll start to really notice there's resistance in creating this beautiful desired reality, which is so powerful just to know that it's actually a thing. So just write it out for what you think it is, sabotaging beliefs and everything around that. Good, excellent. Right, so now what I want you to do is, if you drink some water, have a quick glass of water, if you've got some water there, take a couple of breaths, whichever, and let's do the recode. And just before we do that, what I'll get you to do is we need, this is just a conscious, this doesn't have so much to do with the process, this is just for a conscious to notice a difference. What I want you to do, actually I might do that red, is give yourself the number between 1 and 10. It is backwards, in case you're wondering. So number 1 would mean you've actually got all this desired reality now. Oh, excellent, thanks, Hunting. So everything that's in this desired reality, if you have it all and you're flowing, then it's number 1. If you don't have it yet and it's stuck because you have the beliefs of not good enough, not capable, not perfect, don't belong, not worthy, then you're stuck. You might be a 10. So give yourself a number between 0 and 10 where you think you are in this chart, in this structure. And just put that in the chat for me, that'd be great. Thanks so much for joining us. That's so cool. I love serving others. It's been a beautiful journey. Number 7, that's awesome. Number 9, thanks, Lisa. And I just love guiding you. Oh, thanks, Kirst. 7. I just love this work and guiding and serving others because, you know, I just having so much resistance myself, you know, in the past around everything I wanted to create, and now knowing that we actually have success in life, we don't have to live in that old structure anymore. We can actually live in the desired reality and actually remove everything that we choose is really, really powerful. So thank you so much for being on here. I just love it. And let's do the recode. A metaphor to go with the recode is a bit like a sports field. So if you want, I want you to picture a rugby field or a soccer field or whatever it is for you. And you're standing at one end of the field looking down at the other, and the other end is the goal that you want to get the ball in. Now, how this recode process works, this is for your unconscious to get a good understanding and your conscious good understanding around it, is all of a sudden in this beautiful field that was perfectly green and mowed, a whole lot of gophers have jumped up and dug holes and put mounds of dirt in this field. So you're now looking at the field, there's all this resistance, there's bumps, there's holes, there's all this stuff in the way for you to get to that end result, get to that goal and score the goal. Now that resistance from these gophers was created to stop you getting there, right? So this process is simply what we're going to do is we're going to go fill in all those holes, fill them all over, make them nice and smooth with a feather so it's easy for you to get to that goal. Okay, so that's going to be the process. So the unconscious loves metaphors, it loves pictures, it loves feeling and expression, and that's how it really relates to this work. So what I want you to do now is to close your eyes, take a couple of breaths, just totally relax, set your intention to get the most out of this work. And then it's going to increase satisfaction and decrease pain. It's going to have more of what you want to go for and less resistance. That's it. Good. So just take a couple of breaths and really step into your desired reality. Step into where you were before that beautiful feeling of just having it all. Step into how it feels. That beautiful desired reality. Notice where you are, notice what you're doing, smell it, see it, feel it. The more emphasis we can put on our senses, the stronger the desired reality, and then the stronger the resistance. So really just step into that. Good. Cool. And then I want you just to say out loud that you give permission for Greg to access your superconscious. That's just giving me permission to access your superconscious, to give the superconscious instructions, and then those instructions will activate to your unconscious. And however that chooses, there's no right or wrong. It just does what it does. Just allow for what happens, happens. Don't think too much about the process at all. Just step into, you're in really good hands, you're in a safe environment, and you're going to set your attention to get the most out of it as you can today, to get that resistance to as close to zero as possible. And superconscious, are you there? Yes, cool. Superconscious, do you see this true end result that we've chosen today? Can you please create the perfect treatment plan? Thank you. Superconscious, just remember, in this process, all we're doing is removing emotions and feelings off memories. No memories die. We're simply creating more satisfaction and less pain. Do you understand that? Yes, cool. Good. Superconscious, please create the best treatment plan for this true end result, please. Superconscious, please treat your beliefs, all beliefs around not good enough, not capable, not worthy, insignificant, not perfect. Please treat it all in the perfect way, in the perfect order, and do a massive change history. Superconscious, please treat all frustration and fear, please, and do a massive change history. Superconscious, can you also please treat all feminine and masculine beliefs? Thank you. Treat it all in the perfect way, in the perfect order, and do a massive change history. That's it. Just take a couple of breaths and breathe into it. Really stepping into that, choosing that desired reality, and allowing all the resistance to come up in your field. That's it. Some of it's being hidden. Superconscious, do you need help? No. Okay, cool. Superconscious, then please create the perfect treatment plan. Bring all resistance into the field, please. Good. Superconscious, what I want you to do is I want you to go back in time. I want you to go back in time. I want you to go where you are now. I want you to go up, looking down at your body. Go back along your timeline and go back to when you're a child. Back to the point of when you're a child, before you had limitations. I'm putting resistance, this true end result. Back to that memory. You may not remember it. You don't have to. You just have to know that it's there. If you choose to see it, that's fine. But going all the way back in your timeline, back to a memory when you're a child, when you put up limitation. When you made a decision, limited yourself. With beliefs and emotions and feelings around not having anything you choose. I want you to go and look down at that event. Go back a little bit further, please. That's it. Back a bit further. That's it. There's an event before that in some of your cases. Go back to that event, look down at that event, and what I want you to do is, knowing where that event is, now I want you to put a more positive event, a new event, a brand new event just before it. That's it. Just before it, a happy event that serves you, that creates anything you choose, a happier event. And put that event just before the old event. And then looking down at this new event, knowing that it's there, I want you to plant it in solid so it becomes this new beautiful event in your timeline. That by it being there, it changes all events back to now. And looking down at this new event, I want you to look up and look back to where you are now and notice how everything's changed. I want you to go up from that child memory, that event, go up with this new event, come along your timeline, go up through your years, 6, 7, 9, 10, 12, 15, 20, into your 20s, all the way back to where you are now, and just notice how things have changed because of this new event. That's it. Good. And just sit on that one for a little bit. Just notice what you notice. And now I want you to notice your future self from now. Notice how things have changed. Notice how you can have anything you choose. Good. Superconscious, please do a massive change history. Thank you. Good. Superconscious, please treat all definitions. All definitions. Committing to the end result, I want all definitions, please. Treat it the perfect way in the perfect order and do a massive change history. Please treat all fear resistance to this true end choice, please. Treat it the perfect way in the perfect order and do a massive change history. Please treat all definitions in alignment with desire. All alignment with desire, please. Treat it the perfect way in the perfect order and do a massive change history. Please treat all events from the past and present and do a massive change history. Also, please treat all part personalities. Please treat the protector controller, the inner child, the pleaser, the wounded. Please treat it all the perfect way in the perfect order and do a massive change history. Good. Just take a big breath. Plenty of oxygen there. In the nose and out the mouth. That's it. Good. Superconscious, can you please also treat all family history? Going back up to 7 generations on my mother's side, please. Treat all family history. Up to 6 generations on my father's side, please. Treat it all the perfect way in the perfect order and do a massive change history. Good. Superconscious, please treat all broken agreements also from the past, please. Broken agreements from others. And also broken promises to others, please. Treat it all the perfect way in the perfect order and do a massive change history. Superconscious, also please treat all emotions to this true end result, please. Treat all emotions in the perfect way in the perfect order and do a massive change history. Superconscious, can you see that resistance and secondary intentions, gains, judgments? Can you also please treat that and do a massive change history? Thank you. Also, please treat all body systems, please. Superconscious, can you please treat lower chakras, creation chakra, please? Stomach chakra, front and back. Good. Middle chakra, heart chakra, and throat chakra, please. And upper chakras, please treat all chakras in the body and give them a full boost of all energy, please. Good. Superconscious, there's a block in the throat chakra. Can you see that? Yes. Can you please clear that, please? Being allowed to speak. Speaking your truth. Superconscious, can you see that belief of not being able to speak your truth, the lack of confidence and ability from previous experiences? Can you please treat that? Cool, do a massive change history. Thank you. Good. Superconscious, please treat all body organs, muscle groups, blood flow, heart, skin, joints, shoulders, neck, legs, arms. Please treat all body systems in the perfect way, in the perfect order, and do a massive change history. Superconscious, I'm going to use a sentence procedure with it now. What I'm going to do is say a sentence out loud, and I want you to tag and treat any part that's not true and make it true. I am allowed this desired reality. Please tag and treat and do a massive change history. I am my desired reality. Just notice what that is for you. I can have. I will. I'm being it before I see it, stepping into it. Please treat all resistance and do a massive change history. Thank you. Good. Superconscious, there's some resistance around masculine and a brother. Can you please treat that, please? Perfect way in perfect order and do a massive change history. Also, there's a connection to the number 7 and 3. Can you also treat that too, please? And do a massive change history. Good. Superconscious, please ground in the memories we've touched today and reconnect everything back into the matrix of the universe, including memories 1, 2, and 3, which is our conscious, unconscious, and superconscious. And all other memories, ego states, tandems, shadow memories, all levels of philosophy, please. Please ground all the memories we've touched today. Good. And now I want you to step into the experience of taking what actions you're going to take towards this new desired reality. Notice what you notice. Step into taking more actions and more actions to create this desired reality. Really step into it. That's it. And step into those actions, experience what it's like taking those actions to create this desired reality. whatever it may be for you, a life that you love, health and vitality, true purpose, predominant force. Just step into those actions. Excellent. Good. And when you're ready, I want you to take a couple of breaths, open up your eyes, twiddle your toes, and come on back. Excellent. And when you're back, just put a "I'm back" or something in the chat box so I know you haven't fallen asleep. Yay, thanks, Lisa. Yes, what's important, we do meditations. Wow, what an experience. Thank you. Thanks, Haley. It's excellent. When we do the meditations and we do this work, it's always very important not to do it where we sleep, because it's very easy to fall asleep. So just bear in mind, if any of you fall asleep during meditations, just don't do it where you sleep. Cool, excellent. So if we think about our numbers now, let's go back to we were 7 and 9, weren't we, on the scale here? What number are we now, Lisa and Haley? Lisa, you were 9. Two and a 3. Excellent. Cool. So what we'll find, this is a beautiful thing about this creation, is when here, for example, we'll have number 5 in the middle. Now 5 is obviously the middle between being stuck or flowing. So beforehand, when we were like in the 7s and 9s, we're up here. It's very hard to step into this desired reality, create it, because there's too much resistance in the way. But when we come down to a 2, 3, and a 4, we're actually in the flowing. So it's a lot easier to take the action. So what you need to do now, if you've got a pen and paper, is to write down what actions you're going to take. What actions you're going to take to create more of your desired reality and have less resistance. And what we basically do in this work is, like I mentioned earlier on, we do the processes until our resistance becomes 0, which is really, really cool. So you girls had a couple of really big shifts there, so that's awesome. How are you all feeling? A bit spaced out? It's very, very cool. Cool. So what I'd like to do now is I'll just share my screen again. Oh, where am I? Share screen. Who would like to know about working with me in the future? Would it be okay if I showed you how we can work together? Is that okay? Just put yes in the chat if you'd like to know some more about how we can work together. Excellent. So basically, this is the process. We have a transformation masterclass, which in the masterclass, I work with Chris Duncan. I'm certified. I've obviously spent a lot of money in all this work. So I have access to his 6 weekly recorded coaches, live coaching calls per week. There's 6 of them. They're in different time zones. So whether you're in the Canada or the States or Europe, Australia, New Zealand, we all have times where we can get towards these coaching sessions, which is really powerful. So you get that 6 live coaching calls per week for the whole year, valued at 10,000. We have access to the Magnetic Mind Kajabi Universe, which is your own private university, we call it. That's got a value of 10,000, $2,000, sorry, and you can access that at any time. And there's programs in there to take you through the whole creation to create your desired reality. There's a lot of videos in there from Chris, other coaches, and myself, and it's all about creating anything that is that you love, which is pretty cool. There's meditations in there where I teach you how to learn intuition, so you can step into intuition and create anything you want to from intuition, which is really powerful when we're stuck on making decisions. I simply step in my intuition and allow the information to come through. You can experience the 9 processes that serve you. There's actually 11 in there now. We take you through 11 weeks over the first 3 months. So every week you learn a new process. We have one, for example, which is called family entanglements. And what that basically means is we remove all the family entanglements that keep us connected to the family. An example around that would be, you know, like the boy that's born into a family of thieves feels guilty because he won't steal. So the only child born into that family won't steal. He'll grow up being honest, but he puts on a memory invisible destruction, feels guilty his whole life because he's not a thief. Really powerful. So family entanglements, we can have a lot of family entanglements. We simply cut and release from those. And then obviously we work on all the resistance, different processes, anchoring, values, everything to create our desired reality. 2 live virtual events. We've got the Facebook page, the 52-week process to go all the way through, 25 plus meditations. And there's a bonus creation program that we're having up and running for those that want to start their own business. Now, this beautiful masterclass is priced at a point where everybody can afford it. It's only $39.95 per week, which is $2,000 a year. If you want to buy it outright, it's only $14.95 New Zealand dollars for the whole 12 months. You get full access to the working with me in the masterclass with the 6 live coaches, my group call every week. Plus, you also get all the recorded content. There's over 80 recordings of recodes, processes, everything in there from coaches around the world. And the recordings are just, if not even more powerful than the live events, because the recordings have everyone's field in it. So that when someone listens to this recording, our fields will already be in here, so it has more energetic, which is pretty powerful. So you can simply step into RECODE 24/7. You can do a process 24/7. You can learn. You can step into your meditations, anything you want to remove resistance. Or if you want to do a one-on-one coaching session with me individually, there is that option just to have a one-off for $79 down from $3.99, and then we can talk about what you want to do after that. So to start up the masterclass, I can simply put that link in there. Who's keen on the masterclass or a one-on-one session? Who would like to come join us and do some work in the masterclass? I'll stop sharing my screen. Okay, cool. So what I'll do is, I think my battery's going flat in my mouse, so I'll just put the link into the masterclass here for us. This is my website, gregjonesnz.com. All the information is on there. Here's the Transformation Masterclass. If you click on that, you can also simply watch the video, which shows you all the content, everything that comes with it.